Mic check, 1 2 1 2. We back at it, another episode, man. Impromptu stream, breaking news, man. We got a lot going on in the world, and there's some stuff going on that definitely needs talking about. And we're going to talk about it today. YouTube, I need you guys in the comments and to hit that like button, please, and thank you in advance. Instagram, welcome, welcome, welcome. Shout out to I got Clubhouse joint up here with me today, and we're gonna have a conversation. I think it's gonna be a good one, none the least. And we're having a conversation today about R. Kelly being sentenced to 30 years. 30 years is his sentence. 30 years is what he got. And I want to break down a few things, and because this case became very popular around the time of the Me Too movement, right? And because predominantly all of the victims, unfortunately, were black women, because the victims were black women, it seems that often in cases where the victims are predominantly black women, there's no justice that's seeked, you know? And today we're going to have a conversation about R. Kelly, the time that he got. Was it too much? Was it not enough? Was it the pressure of the Me Too movement that lent to him getting that time? And if they were white, should they gotten more time, right? Should he have gotten more time if it was somebody, if the victims were white? That's what I mean. If the victims were white, would he have gotten more time? So we're gonna have a discussion. You know, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time, and we're gonna unpack some things. So everybody that's in the room and that's listening to my voice on Clubhouse, Instagram, and Facebook, please make sure you hit that like button. Hit that like button and tap in with us. Live on Broadway podcast. Tap in with us. Allison, I'm gonna come to you first, Queen. What's some of the info that I might have missed that may be going on? Shout out to the YouTube viewership. Hit that like button, jump in that comment section so I know you guys are real. A minimum of, yeah, yep, something like that. Yep. Mm. Mm. Who's girl named Maxwell? Who is that? Okay. So just for a moment, right? So the Epstein situation, did that have something to do with old boy, the white dude that hung himself in his cell because he couldn't face the charges? And I think I think there was other powerful men like Bill Clinton, and a few others that was linked to him, something to that extent? Okay, okay. Jesus. I don't know. All right, there she go. All right, so let's break this down a little bit. Thank you for that, Allison. Wonderful job on keeping us abreasted on what's happening. Thank you for that, beautiful. Shout out to Keisha. Shout out to Chef Curry in the Chef Curry in the pot kitchen in the kitchen. Shout out to Tarika. I see the Giants on YouTube tapping in. I want to get it from you guys, right? R. Kelly, do you guys have any value to add on your opinion as it pertains to R. Kelly getting these 30 years and what's going on? I mean, make sure you guys hitting that like button too, please, and thank you in advance. Let's get us to 300 subscribers before the day's out, please, and thank you. Yeah, yeah. How you guys feel? Lolo, how you feel? Tarika, how you feel, Queen? Tap in with me, Clubhouse. What it do? Miss Maya, how you feel about what's going on with R. Kelly, Queen? Are you able to speak? Right. Yeah. I think there's a special thank you for that too, Ms. Maya. I think there's a very special place in hell for individuals like R. Kelly. Right? I think that he's received not enough time. Right? Let me wake that up. I feel like R. Kelly is in a position where now all of the years that he caused so much hurt, torment, harm, disrespect, disregard, he's supposed to be exactly, it should have been more time. Let's just wake it up and call it what it is, right? And the reason why I'm gonna say more time is because the justice system has a way of, in my mind, crazy analogy, I know, but it's like the Grammys, right? Where when somebody doesn't win the year that they're supposed to win, somehow, some way, he received they'll win 2 and 3 years after they're supposed to win, right, on the Grammys. So in the case of the justice system, I feel like the justice system, it failed us, right, for the reason of too much in this case is not enough, right, where because there's so many black women that are victims to crimes and heinous ones that don't get their cases get swept under the rug, be it by police, be it by white counterparts, be it by whatever reason, right? Black crimes don't seem to get the attention. Black travesties don't seem to get the attention that they're supposed to get. So yes, I feel like R. Kelly should have received fucking 75 years. He's sick. R. Kelly is sick. To do that and cause harm and do shit like that too, not only women, but black women at that, Special place in hell for people like R. Kelly. I say it like that, and I put so much ass and stern, so much of that behind it. Please make sure you guys are hitting that like button, because the fact of the matter is this: if we don't hold our own accountable, then others will, right? If others are holding us accountable, we don't seem to like that for some weird and unapparent reason. You know what? Let me digress. Tap in with me. Let me read some of these comments. Keisha Lolo said, very powerful men linked to Jeff Epstein. Yes, I agree. Yes, they were. Very powerful men were linked to Jeffrey Epstein. Tarika said, well, if they knew that R. Kelly was like that, then they would allow their kids. Why would they allow their kids around him? I mean, listen, hey, very true. But I feel like sickness is a disease, right? It's a people that trauma is a disease. That's the words I'm looking for. Trauma is a disease, and it tends to go over, bend over, and bleed over into generation after generation. Hence the reason I always say, who taught you how to love? Right? Because if that person is not the right person, is not a healthy person, then it tends to bleed over and just be a whole mess. Tap in with me, Clubhouse. How you guys are feeling? We talking about R. Kelly being sentenced to 30 years in prison. In fact, let me add this fun fact. I think he's facing more charges by way of August. So around August, he's gonna face more charges for other components of this racketeering of just this whole mess of a trial and situation. Tap in with us. Nasty. So wait, you're saying that he may be facing charges from Aaliyah's situation as well? Sure. So so so. Mm-hmm. Mm. Jesus. Yes. Woo! Wake that up. Wake that up. Keisha said, bro. Yeah. 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 First off, I apologize. You had to go through that, King. I apologize. You had to go through that. That touches home with me in a lot of ways as well. We'll get to that though. We'll unpack that, right? But I think a lot of what Jason's real Jason Reels is saying is right and exact. The parents should receive time too. Everybody should be held accountable for this. Every single person should be held accountable for the involvement that they played in this R. Kelly debacle. This whole nasty, tumultuous situation. I want to wake something up though because hold on. Because Keisha waking something up in a comment section on YouTube. Keisha said, she said, Broadway, she said, have you read any of the paperwork, Broadway? Like really read it, not just the media, not just off the media. And then she says, if you want to talk about black women, his sister molested him and she was a black woman. It's nasty. 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 I'm gonna bring somebody up so you guys can hear the callers. Please come up here with me, Ashley, just so I can patch it through. I'm gonna take you right down, Ashley, on Clubhouse. I mean on Instagram. Just pull up so I can send you back down so everybody can hear the conversation that is happening. Please and thank you, Ashley. Somebody join my Instagram live so I can bring you back down, just so that the people on YouTube can hear you. Please and thank you in advance. Allison, please. What I'm saying is this, right? There's a lot of nasty behavior that's going on out here by way of R. Kelly, and I believe that R. Kelly deserves to rot in jail. And I feel like it's not enough time. I feel like it's literally not enough time that they gave R. Kelly. I'm gonna patch you guys in. You guys are gonna be able to hear them in a couple of seconds. All right, thank you. You guys should be able to. All right, cool. All right, cool. You guys are able to hear clearly on YouTube now, I'm sure. What up, though, Queen? I appreciate you pulling up with me. If you guys want to join the live, hit the live button on Instagram, and I'll bring you guys up here with me. Let's talk about it though. Tap in with me. I'm reading these comments. They saying Tarika said, I agree. We need to educate. Hold up. All right, there she go. She said, I agree. We need to educate. Where's that? We need to educate our children and try to break the generations and try to break the generation curses and more to help mental illness. I'm here for it. I'm here for it. Tap in with me. Jason, what you got, King? We hear you, King. Are you with us? Yes. How you feel, King? Yeah. Right.
Parents being arrested. And this the sick, twisted, fucked up justice system. If they're gonna stand there and let them parents get away, they really don't give a fuck about those kids. They really care about just convicting a black man. That's what I think.
Yeah.
Because you should have if you're gonna throw that motherfucker in jail, throw the rest of the motherfuckers in jail with him because they all fucking sick and they need to be in there with him. And they need to, like I said, they need an extra 30 years because you sold your kids. You sold your kids to a trafficking ring. You created that trafficking ring. Every last one of those parents should be charged with trafficking and conspiracy because the kids didn't get there on their own. They knew the kids was there. The kids didn't come home. I don't see any police reports, missing police reports from what I read with R. Kelly's trial. There was none of that. So those parents was comfortable with their kids being there. And they had no problem until the money started running dry.
And
Once the money
then,
started running
right.
dry, they went to Lifetime and said, "Oh, we can make another bag off the documentary."
So
And you
here's the
tell
thing, right? So here's the thing, right? Jason just shared something with us, right? It touched home to him. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, Giants. On YouTube, you guys wasn't able to hear the callers. I'm just going to reiterate a few things, right? And Allison, tap in where you see fit because they wasn't able to hear you guys' commentary, right? So here's the thing, right? This hits home with Jason, right? Because his mother did something similar to him or gave him to his uncle when he was a child, knowing that his uncle was a pedophile, right? And
Yeah, she heard allegations that he molested my retarded cousin that was the same age as me, that's a month younger than me, and then when I got older, she started blaming me, telling me, "Oh, why didn't you come home then?" and stuff. So after that, I was like, wait a minute, but you sent me over there. She tried to send me and my twin brother, but my twin brother didn't want to go. And she started talking about all the nice things he does for us, buying us sneakers, ice cream, and all types of stuff that he does. So I was like, give him a chance because I didn't know that he was a child molester. I didn't know he had allegations.
yeah.
But when my cousin told me, yo, Jason, your mother knew. I already said he fucking
What
molested
age?
my brother,
What age were
but
you when
nobody
you
believed him.
King? What age were you when you found this out?
I found out when I was like 17 going on 18 that my mother had knew about allegations, but she was acting like she ain't believe my cousin because she was saying my cousin was a liar, so she couldn't trust anything she said.
All right. So
You
so
see,
so
that's the shit right there. That's the shit
so
like right there that gets every child molested,
so
not believing
so hold on,
allegations.
hold on, King, hold on, right? And I appreciate your candor, your forwardness, right? We need everybody that's here right now. Just mute up for a second, King. We need everybody that's here right now to hit that like button. We only have 5 likes, and we got 15 of us on YouTube, and we have easily about maybe 10 of you guys right now on Clubhouse and on Instagram, Facebook as well. Shout out to Facebook. Make sure you tap in with our Facebook as well, please, and thank you very much. See, here's the thing, right? It's a slippery slope when you get into the space of feeling like the person that caused you harm, because unfortunately these type of things happen all the time in the black community. I can't speak about everywhere else. Can't speak about everything else. You know what, Allison? Let's reiterate some things so we could catch the YouTube viewership up on some things as it pertains to the facts and what's going on with R. Kelly.
Right. So, what's up, y'all? Once again, it's Allison Grace, and very recently, within the last hour, a federal judge sentenced singer R. Kelly to 30 years in prison. Um, excuse me. So, these charges have come down. He was sentenced last September. Well, he was convicted rather, racketeering and violating the Mann Act, a sex trafficking law, including having sex with underage girls. He could have faced life in prison because of his past and him also being abused. They wanted to give him a more lenient sentence of 12 to 14 years, but with all of his history and everything that has been taking place with him, they decided to give him 30 years in prison. Um, so yeah, it's a lot, but there's more to come with him being sentenced later on this summer for bribery, um, with getting a fake ID in order to marry singer Aaliyah, who he was involved with before her passing. So
So every
it's just been a lot today.
so thank you for that, Allison. Thank you for that, Queen. Everybody's here is able to tap in and give us commentary as it pertains to the conversation. R. Kelly receiving 30 years. Giants on YouTube, I need to see you in this comment section. Let me see. Keisha Lolo said, regardless of how you guys feel about Kells, he's not locked up for that. He's locked up for running a one-man show. A one-man enterprise. I'm sorry, a one-man enterprise. The RICO charge. I think that, you know, a lot of us may have been either victims or run close in that circle of knowing victims, and to watch R. Kelly move in a space of just for years doing and behaving in certain ways, because we've been hearing about R. Kelly, right? This not the first picnic. We've been hearing about R. Kelly and his nasty ways. But I think there's a such thing called timing. And when we're talking about timing, the stars must align. And I think that somehow, some way, and we're not going to get into the rhetoric with the Me Too movement. I mean, excuse me, not Me Too. Black Lives Matter. Excuse me, I got the two mixed up. We're not going to get into that space. But what I will say is, it lent to the narrative of what the Me Too movement is and what it promoted. You get what I'm saying? If you guys want to be brought up on Instagram, hit that button. Let me see. Talk to me. D Mickey.
Hey, thank you for having me. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can hear you clearly, Queen.
Okay. I'm a very reasonable person. I do believe people make mistakes and all, but I just believe certain things are not, especially molesting anybody, and especially just trying to use those fame or power or whatever to just get away with evil. And also, he's definitely not the only person that needs to be held accountable. Like, he definitely had resources, and each and every last resource that made it possible for him to do anything that he shouldn't have been doing needs to be held accountable. I mean, they are charging people for stuff that people go to jail and prison just for being in the car for not having nothing to do with anything. So if you can throw away somebody's life just from being associated, then you can throw away all these folks that really turned a blind eye to it too.
Yeah.
Because it could have been exposed if somebody would have opened their mouth, but they didn't.
So let's stay right there for a moment, right? D Mickey said, and the same thing what Jason said, right? There's more people that's supposed to be involved in this case that's supposed to receive time. Yeah, R. Kelly may have been the ringleader of it, right? That's what I believe Keisha said about him being the one man band. That part, I think there's something. He's not all right. He's not a one man enterprise. Yeah. Running a one man enterprise. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I'm just going back looking at some of these comments. Keisha said, "Stop addressing them as kids. They are grown women." Hold on. We got to wake that up. She's right. She's right. We can't. She's right. But see, hold on, because it comes from two sides, right, Keisha? And this is to you too, right, D Mickey? There's two sides. One, yes, they were adults after a certain point, but the origin, y'all know me. I like to look at the origin of things and what's the origin of it, right? A lot of it started when they were kids and when they were very influential, right? And this is why it's important that, damn, I wish I could, somebody get Aaron over here, please, because I need to get Aaron up here, because I'm going to talk about some child stuff, right? I'm going to talk about some children stuff, and that's his bag. Somebody please get Aaron, tell him, go to my Instagram. I'm going to bring him up on my Instagram. DM him, whatever, if you guys are listening, right? So here's the thing. From a child's mind, when children are their brain is being manipulated and they don't know what to believe. And we all been there, right? We all been in spaces where we don't know who's who and what's what. And we have powerful people that come, like I had a mentor. I didn't know it was a such thing as a word called mentor when I was a kid. But what I do know is that there's a certain amount of influence that people that we look up to and that we respect hold over us. They have this thing and they hold it over us. And that's where the saying comes from, with great power comes greater responsibility. So I believe that R. Kelly had that influence, right? Had that influence over these little girls that became women but was already brainwashed to a certain extent, right? Because the origin of it is They were children. And then they grew up and they became something more. Tap in with me. I want
Yeah,
to I want to
yeah.
see
I
you
can
guys
tell
in a
you.
give me
I can
give
tell
me
you about that.
give me one
That
second.
art.
Give me 1 second, beloved. Shout out to everybody watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. Shout out to you all. We appreciate you guys tapping in. Hit that like button. Gotcha said something not right about this. I'm going to tap in. I'm going to talk to you in the comments. Gotcha. But tap in with me, Jason. We hear you.
Yeah. Now the brainwashing stuff is true because my uncle when he was when he first got me living with him, the first thing he was doing was brainwashing me against my mother. He said, "I'm going to call your mother on speaker, and she going to tell you going home, and you ain't going to have that fish tank, those video games, and your own room and all of that." And I came from a mother of 10, so he was
A
using
family of
certain
10?
things. Yeah, so he was using these things like my mother, and he was like, "Your mother get a check for you and this and that, and I'm gonna show you your mother don't care." And he put it on speakerphone, and he asked my mother for $50. And when she said, "Well, you can send my son home if I got to give you anything." So as soon as the phone hung up, he said, "See, she don't care about you. You ain't even worth $50. You know what? I'm going to take you home." And then I started getting mad and saying, "No, I don't want to go home." He's like, "Because you're going to lose all of this stuff you got here." Because, and once he did that, he showed me that my mother didn't care about me. It's like, all the trust went over. He transferred the trust that I had from my mother over to him
All right,
because
so so
he,
so
he yeah.
so let me just say this, right? We're having a conversation. We're talking about the breaking news of R. Kelly being sentenced to 30 years, right? That's the conversation, right? It's very alarming. It's very, and we apologize if it's a toxic or triggering conversation because we do have victims out here of all sexes, right? Let me also say this. There's a conversation we're having because Jason, caller tapping in on Clubhouse, he's saying that he was also a victim of child abuse, right? Of molestation or whatever it was to the extent. I'll let him tell his story, right? But if you guys are hearing him tap in, this is what he's sharing. It's coming from a very real place. So shout out to Jason tapping in. Dan Patrick, TH on YouTube said the Supreme Court system needs to convict other celebrities who are guilty as well.
I agree.
He said what he said, and I agree with that. I agree with that. The Supreme Court do need to convict other celebrities who are guilty as well. Put them all under the jail. Because these kids, you see, let me tell you something that I know about child abuse, right? And molestation, so forth and so on. It's I don't know if it's hereditary. I don't know that. What I do know is that it gets passed on and passed on and passed on, right? Because in the black household, we're told a lot of times what happens in our house, say it in the background.
Stays in the house.
Stays in our house. What happens in our house stays in our house, right? So you go to wherever you're going to and you have something that's going on in your house. Then you go over to share something with you guys, right? A lot of times when stuff like this happens, it puts you in a position of not knowing who to trust. And then you develop trust issues as a kid. Jason, do you feel as though you developed any type of trust issues, beloved?
Yeah, I developed trust issues.
Sure.
I had a lot of broken relationships behind what happened to me. I was very sexually active at a younger age because of what he did to me. I didn't know how to treat women. I actually reflected what he did to me to other people. Like as far as the way I treated the women that I dated, the women that I married, you know, and I didn't know that this was coming from something that I was keeping inside because I didn't tell nobody until I damn near was 18. And then I had to go through the because I got 6 brothers, so I had to go through the all them calling me gay, them
How
asking me,
did
"Oh,
they
why
know?
did you
How
say
how
anything?"
did they know? How did
How
they
did
learn of this?
my brothers?
Yes.
Because I told my girlfriend, she told my therapist told my mother, and and when my brothers and them found out, and it was funny because one of my brothers, he's still holding on to the secret. He told me that he was molested by the same person too, but he haven't said
Mm.
anything, and I don't blame him because like the backlash you get from being molested by a man,
Yo.
it's just it's just no outlet for young boys. I hate to say it.
So here's the thing, right? Here's the thing with this, right? Trauma has a way of doing that to us, right? Trauma has a way of doing that to us. Because what's happening is people don't tend to, like your brother, he probably feels embarrassed, and I'm certain that he didn't share that with as many people so freely as you probably did. I don't know shit from shit. I'm just, getting to know you a little bit more, Jason, over the past few weeks. And Jason always comes across as being a genuine person. I believe that let me ask you a tough question, King. Have you, at an age where you probably didn't know any better, exuded any of that type of trauma that happened to you onto anyone else? Jason, are you with me?
No, but honestly, I'll be honest with you. It was hard for me to even trust myself around my own children.
Could you delineate? Could you give us a little bit more on
Like
what
I
that?
didn't want to like when it came like my son was coming up, my daughters was coming up as babies. My wife used to tell me like, "This is not you're not a monster. Why you don't want to change your own kids' pampers?" And she started to see it with the second child that we had, that I would like either ask another female that I was close to change my kids' diapers, and then I didn't even trust people watching my kids. Honestly, I had a schedule where if the mother wasn't at work, if the mother were going to work, I was on my way home. I really never trusted anyone to watch my kids. It created all types of issues and shit. So, and then the constant fighting people. I was constantly angry. I just actually changed. It actually went 11 years without fighting people.
Wow.
Everything used to be a fight with me because I was just so angry that I wanted to take that anger out on somebody else.
So again, we're having a conversation. I'm resetting because I'm seeing new giants tapping in on YouTube, Facebook, on Instagram, and we're having a conversation about R. Kelly. Please make sure you guys are hitting that like button. If you guys are in here on Clubhouse, please, Ari, I'm coming to you next, Queen. Please make sure you guys are all hitting that like button. Ola, thank you for joining the stage. AR, tap in with us, and Melvin as well. Thank you guys. Let me say this right to Jason. To Jason, King, things happen, beloved. And I appreciate, I'm sure to some extent, we all appreciate your candor and you being so open and honest with us. And I want to ask you one more question, and then I'm going to open it up to everybody. Again, we're talking about R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years. Was it enough? Was it enough time? Did those girls receive justice? Jason, you said that you didn't trust yourself around your kids when you had them because you was a victim of somebody that molested you and took advantage of you as a child, right? So my question becomes, did your wife know of this prior to you guys,
Yeah,
having?
my wife. Yeah, my wife knew.
Okay.
My first girlfriend is the one that I broke it to. So she pretty much, used to help me out with it, and she would talk to like girls that I dealt with about, because she was pretty much friends with every girl that I've been with. And she used to tell him, like, like Jason been through a lot. She used to tell him, like, if he can't trust you, he can't trust nobody, because his family, is not the best of trust when it come to him, because like certain shit that happened with him.
Sure.
And she disclosed all of this stuff to my girlfriends. And she said, when I met him, it was so hard to get the secret out, because she was really, I didn't just tell her. She was really beating it out of me. Like,
I got
she
you.
would come to me because she would see that something was really bothering me. And instead of her walking away, she actually stood there and helped me
Was
through it.
persistent
And
inside of it.
yeah, yep.
Well,
Shout out to Lisa. I will always love Lisa to the day I die.
Well, thank you, Jason, for again your candor, man. I think it takes a very strong person and a healed person to be able to sit in front of us and be so open and honest, right? So listen, I want to read some of these comments. Keisha said, one of the attorneys named Gerard Giggs, who represented one of the families, said that none of the women were minors, so they had to run with the narrative that the women were brainwashed and held. Okay. She said none of the women. Okay. This is more information. We appreciate that, Keisha. So, I also heard in the doc, right? This is only according to the doc and what the pages I done turned in the media, so forth and so on. But Keisha also woke up and said, we can't just take what the media is saying. There's another side to it. Right. And I received that, Keisha, right? Because I'm certain that there is. Right. So thank you for that. But I also heard that there's kids involved by way of children and just them listening and hearing and being manipulated by certain things. Aaliyah was a kid. Aaliyah was a kid. You hear me? Aaliyah was a child. And when I say a child, I'm talking about, I'm speaking in regards to undeveloped brain. Let me yield my mic and tap in with the Giants on Clubhouse. We got Ari in here. We got Ola. We got Latoya. Tap in with me, Ari.
I feel like it's so many different aspects to this story. And I don't even really know what to say. I mean, he does deserve time, and he was wrong for what he did. But this has been going on for far too long for other people not to be held accountable.
Yes.
As far as like the parents and his handlers, all the people that worked for him, all the people who were sneaking these girls in, like, what is going on? It needs to be accountability across the board. It cannot just be him. Also, I feel like this country is very lenient on people who lie, meaning that a woman could turn up and say that she was raped or molested, and when people find out that there's inconsistencies in her story, nobody says anything, and there's no price for her to pay. Yes, he did do a lot, and yes, there are victims, but there also are people who are lying on this man, and we know this, and they continue to do so to pad the numbers. So until we could get to the truth of what really went on here and get to the rest of the people who need to be in jail, who are we to say how much time they get? I feel like this should have been a more in-depth look at those other people too, because they need to be in jail too. Yes, he needs to be in jail, and 30 years was light for him. He could get a little more. I'm not going to hate that. But where's the people? Where's the parents? Where's the handlers? Where's the managers? Where's all those people? Where are they?
Here's
Where's
the
all the
thing.
people that turned the eye to Aaliyah? Come on.
What Ari is saying is what Keisha is saying. What Keisha is saying is what Dan Patrick is saying. What Dan Patrick is saying is what they're echoing. If you listen close enough, they're echoing the other side of the coin, right? And what they're saying is that, yes, R. Kelly did some atrocious shit, but who helped him in that? Who aided him in that? And even more so, right? Or not even more so, but the narrative that Ari just woke up, which is what she said. She said, when women accuse men of doing things and it comes out that men didn't do it, where's the price? Who has the price to pay on that? Why do these ladies go home? Let me read these comments. Tarika said, because sometimes they cut it off. All right, cool. She said, we as black people need to get the help from our childhood trauma so we can live in peace. Dan Patrick said, he said, not trying to defend R. Kelly, but he should have gotten his act together and moved overseas back in 2002. He said, I've heard rumors that R. Kelly was popular in the United Kingdom too. Now, Dan, when you say he was popular, are you meaning for his antics that he was doing here, or do you mean by way of his music and notoriety that he received here by way of such? Tap in with me, Dan. I want to see it in the comments. I appreciate you guys. Everybody tapping in on YouTube. Please make sure you guys are hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. Please and thank you in advance. Also, make sure you drop a Cash App if you guys are enjoying the show. I am Broadway. Cash App. If you guys are enjoying the show, $1, $2, $5, 10. It's all appreciated to help us keep bringing you this amazing content. Shout out to everybody tapping in with us. And yeah, make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Make sure you guys are hitting that like button. Thank you very much. Tap in with us. We got Ola. Greetings, Queen. How are you? Ola, are you by your mic? Okay, Ola probably. All right. There she
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening. Good evening. Where are we speaking to you at, Queen?
Sorry, come again.
Where are we speaking to you at?
I'm in Nigeria.
You're in where? I'm sorry, we missed that.
Nigeria.
Nigeria. Shout out to Nigeria on the check-in. We got Nigeria patching in with us. Ola, are you familiar with this R. Kelly trial? And do you have any commentary to add, Queen? Thank you for being up on stage with us. It might be a delay, so just bear with it, Giants. Ola, are you familiar with this R. Kelly situation? And how do you feel?
Well, I've been following it, but I've not really been following it like that. But I just feel something is not right. I don't really know much about it, but I feel something is not right. I'm not in support of child molestation and rape and all of that, but I just feel something is not right somewhere. I don't know. Just
She said, I just feel something isn't right. I can receive that. I can receive that. Women lie, no accountability. Yes, that's what Keisha said. Women lie, no accountability. Yes. Yes. I think here's the thing, right? If there's one thing we need to be certain on is that is that in the space of, yes, I agree. There's another whole side to the coin. There's the people that aided and made him move in how he was moving, allowed him to assist him in that space. But there's also the side of the kids. Again, I keep going back to these kids, man, because an undeveloped brain is still a child. An undeveloped brain is still a child. Lala, how you doing, Queen?
Can I speak on that?
Sure, I got you. All right, cool. Let's go to D. Mickey, I'm going to come to you next, Lala. Appreciate you guys being here, sitting tight, and being patient. Latoya, I got you too, beautiful. Tap in with us. Go for it, D.
Hey, thank you. I just wanted to comment on the kid thing, because I know a lot of people are caught up on the fact that they got older, and some of them came into the situation already old enough to make their own decisions. But I do believe that peer pressure is a huge force, and I do believe that just generally being around people older, being around people that expect you to behave in a certain way does influence your decisions. Like, I remember growing up, I'm only 27, but when I would be around older men or when I would be with friends and we would go hang out with men that were older, not that much older, but they're older than us. So they have something else on their mind. And when you coming in the door, you're thinking about chilling and enjoying your time, and you don't have long before you pick up on the vibes and the expectations. And if you don't, you're going to end up feeling real uncomfortable. And after a while, either you're going to give in or you're going to remove yourself from the situation. And sometimes if the pressure is too hard or too much, you don't have a chance to remove yourself from the situation. Like men already know the
Right.
strength that they possess, and they already know that they can get away with it. They pretty much know you're a kid, and it's gonna be their word against yours. And nothing really stops people from doing nothing. Like you really sometimes can go into it innocently, and you could be the type of person that's just not into all that, but you got somewhere where you clearly saw that if you resist, it's gonna cause a bigger problem than you just going along. And sometimes you have to go along. You know, it can mess up connections with your friends. It
So
can mess
so
up connections for your family.
So
You
Queen, are
know,
you saying, because I wanna understand what you're saying? You're saying that some women are forced into situations by way of not wanting to disrupt the order of things, and is that is
yeah,
and I would agree. I would concur with that. I would definitely concur with that. We need four more subscribers on YouTube to hit our 300 mark, please, and thank you very much. And we need about another 15 more likes to make 30. Let's just make it 30 for 30. 330. Let's do that before we over. So go to the YouTube link and hit that link, and please, please, please hit that like button and make sure you subscribe. What I'm saying to you is this, right? Asking you rather, D, is I agree with that. And I can understand it from that side because I'm not a woman. And yes, as a man, I'm naturally stronger. And yes, I can see how a woman may be intimidated and feel some way to not want to break up the natural chain and order of things, right? There's also the side of who,
it took me to get older to learn how not to put myself in those type of positions, honestly. And
sure.
some people really don't get a chance to make those comparisons or learn those lessons. So they could have just been somewhere at the wrong time. And a lot of things, especially when you're dealing with young minds, if if we weren't thinking like that already, we weren't thinking like that. There's nothing you can do about that. It's not until it's exposed or it's offered to you or something like that for your mind to get off track and start looking into a different direction. Like just like you can be a little kid outside playing. That's what you're outside to do. But a grown man come by asking, do you want candy? It's like whose fault is it for the child taking the candy, like, or is it the man fault for even offering it with intentions that weren't pure? And it's just like
Point
if
made.
you wouldn't have never brought it up, or if you wouldn't have never even had that intention for me, we wouldn't even be here. Like a man that's not attracted to a child at all, it don't matter how long you sit around him, nothing's gonna happen. But a man that really is attracted to kids or teenagers or whatever, it don't matter how long you're around him for a second or for a moment or he can groom you or whatever. You're gonna eventually get right where he wants you to be at because that was his intention.
So
So uh huh.
so there used to be a saying, right? And it's called, I'm trying to remember the saying. When you're doing something nice, but you have ill intent behind while you're doing it. It's like, is in some ways it's called the finesse, right? In other ways it's called, what's the name of it? When you do something, I guess the point that I'm trying to make is R. Kelly, to some extent, I think was not dirty macking. He was at the root of it manipulative, right? At the root of it manipulative. Because, excuse my background, this is what New York City sound like, respectfully. I think to some extent he was manipulative, right? If not to the kids, or if not to these, and again, I'm saying kids, Keisha, because I know that they may have been at a certain age, but their mind was still undeveloped, right? And their parents that took these kids to the concert, right? Going according to the documentary, right? Took these kids to the concert, went backstage to see R. Kelly, get an autograph. He promised them, hey, you can be the next big singer. Only to manipulate them and put them in a position. So I forget the exact name of it, but I believe kids are very influential and are easy to influence. And let me just read some of these comments before I throw it back and get Lala and Latoya on this. Let me see something here. Make sure you guys send that Cash App. Cash App if you're enjoying the show. I am Broadway Cash App. Tap in with us. Tracy said, she said, just like them creepy uncles that tell you sit on their laps, give you candy and let you sneak a sniff behind their parents' back, or grooming. Dad wouldn't. Dad would live. Dad we would live in. I don't know what that part mean. Our Mag said R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years. Those were okay. Those were grown women. They were 18 and up, I'm guessing. But pedophile rape is but pedophile and raped his sister, Josh Duggar, only got 17 years. Oh, but a pedophile raped his sister, Josh Duggar, and only got 17 years. I'm guessing that's what he's waking up. We gonna tap.
Yes.
We gonna tap in on that because you know more about that. Please tap in. Please tell us more.
That's the Duggar family. So I don't know if
We're
you guys
talking
know.
about the Duggar family as to what McGee said.
Yes.
Tell us more.
So the Duggar family, they are known to have I'm not quite sure of the background if they're Mormon or Amish, but I do believe it's the former and not the latter. But they what they do is they basically have like a million kids. Like they probably have like 22, if I'm not mistaken, and they have them as stair steps, right? So what he was doing, Josh, he was involved in basically the same thing, like grooming and just being really inappropriate with these young ladies, and some even I was told within his family like cousins. So yes, so he
So
was sentenced to 17.
so thank you for that, Ali. Our Maggie said McGee said it doesn't matter their age if they was hold on. He said, or she said, excuse me. They said it doesn't matter if their mind was underdeveloped. Only thing that is supposed to matter is the age. So we're putting people in jail for legal aid for legal people of age. That's important. I think that's important because in the court of law, right? We're talking about the court of morality, right? That might not be cool. But I also understand what he's saying or what they're saying because to some extent, well, it's just simply that. The age matters. Because if you're 18 plus, then you're above the age of, or you're at the age and above to consent to sex. But if you're 18, if you're 17 or younger, then you aren't. And that's what they're waking up on in the YouTube comment section. Tap in with us. Shout out to Vern. Vern's Young Classic on Instagram said, remember, R. Kelly was a victim also. Yes, he was. He most certainly was. He certainly was a victim as well. We're definitely waking that up. We're not going to ignore that. Vern's, jump up here if you like, Queen. Tracy said, yes, because creeps need to be caught. I'm here for it. Tap in with us. Who we got up here? Molly, if you want to join and add commentary, tap in. I'm going to go to Lala and then Latoya. Lala, tap in with us if you're by your mic, Queen.
Hi, how is everybody today?
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Um,
Hello,
yeah, I
hello.
just wanted to kind of piggyback off of what you said. I'm gonna move the goalposts a little bit because, like I always do. um, so you said something about like being the age of 18 and being able to consent, right? But just because you're of a certain age, that doesn't mean that mentally you are that age. That's just the age that the law is saying that you are legal to consent to certain acts, right?
Okay.
But that doesn't mean that you are mentally capable of handling those acts. As far as I'm concerned, and how my family raised me, at 18, you still a kid.
Sure.
So,
But in the
you
legal
know,
sense, in the legal sense, right? We're talking about the law. The
yeah,
law.
that's what I said.
The
That's what I
law
said.
doesn't
The
prevent.
law says
Yes.
The law says that you are, you can be a willing participant in certain acts at a certain age, like smoking and all that other stuff, right? But that doesn't mean that you are emotionally and mentally able to handle these things.
Correct.
And so
Absolutely.
I think that with R. Kelly, even though he kind of skirted that line, with these 18-year-olds, he's unfortunately, because he was victimized, he too then became a predator. And knowing that type of behavior in the mental mind state of these young girls, he was able to tap into something about them that they were insecure about or whatever, and victimize them. um that's just outside looking in.
Sure.
um and then with the whole thing with Aaliyah, um that Allison was saying, yeah, the one of the guys actually was on the documentary, and he actually said that he was the one that signed the marriage certificate for her, and like altered her age.
I
um
remember that.
yeah. So in my head, as I'm watching this a couple of years ago, I'm like, well, why aren't you in jail? Why isn't Hank Hankerson, or whatever her uncle's name, why isn't he in jail? Because her parents left Aaliyah to her uncle's care. You knew what R. Kelly was. Everybody knew in Chicago what R. Kelly was doing. He was still hanging around the high school. Even the music teacher said that. So I definitely agree with Jason. He's not here right now, but I also think that other heads need the role, right? The parents that need to be responsible as well. You knew the allegations. Everybody saw the sex tape in 1996, 1997. And unfortunately, that girl that was on that tape that was victimized, she became like the madam. So she started pulling in girls for him. That was said too. And she's still doing it to this day. So, it's a snowball effect with this particular court
So
case. And
so hear me, right, guys? So and not to cut your wisdom, Queen, I'll give you the floor right back. I'm just wondering, do you think that the other suitors that was involved in the case will be held accountable at some point? Hey, baby girl, I see you, baby girl. Do you feel like that? Do any of you guys feel like that? In the comment section, I'm coming to you, Lala, on Facebook, on Instagram. Do you believe that the other suitors will be held accountable at some point? Because let's face the facts. They're saying that in August, he will receive more time. More time. Lala, what you got for me?
um, I think it'll be a long time. I hope that happens. Um, because there's no way, like, I have a teenage daughter. There's no way that if I know that somebody, even if it's just alleged, that I will put my daughter in that type of situation to where she could be, assaulted. Because I'm going to the
Yep.
door.
Yep. Yep.
Like, I'm shooting first, asking questions later. Don't you ever put your hands on my kid. I will
Right.
fuck you up. Like,
Right.
that's just the type of mom I am. Like, I'm not going to put my child or any of my children in any situation to where, they feel
So,
vulnerable enough.
all right.
Mm-mm.
So,
I
so
can't. I
Even if
can't.
it makes you famous?
Even if it made me
No, I'm
famous,
playing. I'm
those are
playing.
my children. Like, I lost
I
my
know. I know. I'm
virginity
playing.
through rape. I was 11. I would
I'm fine
never.
with that.
hold on, hold
I
on,
would never do that to
hold
my
on.
kids.
Yes, hold on, right? Hold on. There's a time to play, there's a time to not, right? But here's the thing, right? And I was saying to myself, I don't know if but I'm gonna say it. Here's the thing, right? Parents are having children, and just because you are a parent, this goes back to the 18 versus the mind being in a certain place, right? Just because you have a child doesn't mean you're of a certain age to have a child and be a parent. You get what I'm saying? What I'm saying in layman's terms is there's children out here having children. Like, let's wake it up and just call it what it is. We need to get out of the space of children having children, because these children don't have enough life experience to know how to navigate the spaces and what's safe versus what's not safe. These parents that are children are moving in the space of feeling like you can leave your kid with just anybody, mother, father, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, aunt, because they're family, and it don't work like that. And then when these kids receive tumultuous trauma, you say, how did this happen? You know how it happened? Because you was a fucking kid when you had your fucking kid and you was letting your fucking kid go and be with pedophiles. We gotta be careful and mindful about if we love our children, right? If that's the narrative we're running with, because it's very easy to say now. It's easy to say now. It's easy to say now. I love my kid. I love my children. But love is an action word. Wake that up. Love is an action word. But what happens is this, right? Love being an action word, people tend to believe that love is a feeling. No, love is what you can do for me, not what you can. Love is what you can show me, not what you can think, not what you can feel. And I question, did those parents that had these children and gave their children to R. Kelly, or let these kids follow in the mentorship of R. Kelly, were they exactly adults? Were they adults? Are they? Tap in with me. Let me know how you guys are feeling. We having a conversation. It's getting a little passionate, but at the end of the day, we know why. We know why. Let me wake it up. Let me see what he said. Let me see what they saying. Double Jeopardy. All right. He said. R. McGee said. So Josh Duggar is not a true predator. He's a victim. He's a predator. All right, cool. I got it. I'm sorry. He says he was a victim at 12 and under 12. R. Kelly had a day in court. R. Kelly had a day in court for that crime, and the tape was found innocent. Double jeopardy if they included any old info. Said the parents put their children in that situation. I would not, but those parents did. He said, okay, put parents in the situation, but he would not. They received money from this man, so stop the cap. Okay. So they received money. Does it make it right? Does it make it right? And that's what I mean about children having children. Children having children. Because when children have children, children don't know no better. 18, you don't know no better. 19, you don't know no better. The brain isn't fully developed until, what they say, 27, 28? I mean mature. I'm not going to say developed. I'm going to say it doesn't fully mature until about 27, 28. But you're able to make decisions by 18, 21. Something along those lines. Don't crucify me if my facts aren't to the T, but I know it's somewhere along that line. Right? Tap in with me, guys. I want to get it from you guys. Latoya, what you got for me, Queen? I appreciate the commentary. R. McGee. Tap in with me, Toya.
Oh, I just think that this is a big mess. Like they said before, like there's other people that should be held accountable that is not. Like how they did with the what's his name, Ernstine guy. They got the lady and the other people. They need to get these people because a lot of this stuff could have been prevented if you think about it. Because remember, when did he do it with Aaliyah? Like in '96. This is 2022. Like what's going on? Like all those years that done passed, some of this stuff could have been prevented. But yeah.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it is what it is. You know, he did the crime. He got to do the time. But hopefully, he can get some type of help
Yeah.
back there because, you know, a lot of people don't believe in, you know, going to the doctor and getting therapy. And he needs it. He really needs it.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree. I agree. I think there's two sides to look at this from. We three away from 300. We three away from 300. Please, let's hit that subscribe button on YouTube and hit that like button. We 12 away from 30. We 12 likes away from 30 and 3 subscribers away from 300. Let's go 300 for 30. Listen, here's the thing, right? I hear you guys. R. McGee said, yes, you do. 14 years get you life in prison for murder. 14-year-olds get life in prison for murder. Yes, they do. They definitely do. Okay. I think to some extent. Sure, go for it. Who is this?
It's D.
Go ahead, D. Tap in with me.
I just wanted to comment on the fact that we keep trying to analyze people's brains by their age. I believe that it really doesn't matter what age you are. If you haven't been exposed to certain life lessons yet, you're just not going to be mindful of certain things or situations. You literally have to live through stuff to even look at it a different way. And I get it. Parents are young and stuff, and they're raising kids too. But it the problem is that they receive money thinking, well, some of them probably thinking they're helping their child with a career, probably thinking they're putting their best foot forward for their child. But it didn't mean that all. It didn't mean the money was for you to misuse or abuse my child.
Yes.
At any moment that's what you intended to do after you paid me my money, it should have been made clear. And like I said, that was only going to happen by other people holding him accountable that were around him. Like, you could tell a parent anything, and they could send their child right off on the bus and think that they're doing the best for their kids. But
I agree. I agree with that.
It shouldn't have been a possibility at all. Like, at all.
Again, I think sometimes, man, I say things and I don't know if I scare you guys sometimes or whatever, but I say it and I put a lot of ass on it because I think and believe that, of course, sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes our parents fail us, right? And because our parents fail us, it leads to us moving in certain ways because, respectfully, some of us are just looking for love in all the wrong places, and when we look for love in the wrong places, the ramifications of that is children think they know. And we all have been children before, so we all remember being at a certain age, being of a certain age and moving as if we was of a certain age, right? But the fact of the matter is no, that's not what we were doing. That's not what we were doing at all. That's not what we were supposed to be doing. Excuse me. We were supposed to be watching cartoons, playing with toys, playing VR, playing Nintendo, Sega, Genesis. I don't know. These kids now playing with VR technology. Mild versions of social media, right? Participating and actually going outside and playing with kids, But parenthood is a thing where you're forced to do what you believe is best by way of your kids. And if you're fortunate enough to have one parent alive, if you're lucky enough to have 2 parents alive, you often, when you're stuck and you don't know, you go to your parents. And that's what happens. As humans, we have an ability that allows us to talk and be heard. So we ask the questions to our loved ones to try to figure out what should I do? I've never been here before. I'm seeking your counsel because you've been here before. And when the people that's teaching us things aren't giving us what we need, or they're giving us the wrong information, it tends to put us in a bad position. But tap in with us. We got Tish in here. Tish, I would love you to come up and add your insight and add value to this R. Kelly situation, Queen. He got sentenced to 30 years, and we're talking about this from a few different angles. And I'm just here to provide the vibe. Shout out to all the YouTube viewership. Please make sure you hit that like button up top. We need 10 more likes on YouTube. 10 more likes on YouTube, and 3 more subscribers on YouTube to be 300 for 30. Thank you guys. Tap in with us, Tish. Greetings and salutations, Queen.
Okay. Hey, y'all. Sorry, y'all. I'm driving too, so just an
Just be
FYI.
safe.
This whole thing's unfortunate, right? Because we do understand that he deserved to have, to get time for this. Like, that is not a question. I don't think that needs to be, discussed, that he needed to do time. But the sad part about all of this is that a person's doing time who was mentally ill, right? So in the call, in the same vein that he caused mental distress to all those little girls, right? He himself was dealing with the same pain, and he didn't have a way of all these people that were around him were able to utilize money as a way for their personal gain, and at the same at the expense of him, you know
Yep.
doing the same pain on inflicting the same pain on other people. And why is this a big problem? Because on Clubhouse, there was this whole conversation the other day about, you know, about men dating younger girls, and just this whole conversation, right? You would be surprised at how many men use that to say, well, she women like older men and all these other excuses, and we can't just go and say just because a young girl is infatuated, because the difference between liking and infatuation, right?
Sure.
Just because she's infatuated with the older guy, that means that she wants it, right? And so it kind of also in the same sentence, right, that a lot of this is due to money. So we have a lot of parents pimping their kids for money too, right? Because
Yep. That's what a lot of
it's
people said.
unfortunate situation. It's an unfortunate situation because no one won in this situation, right? The families get to get justice, but they also have to, the kids also um would have to go to therapy and all those other things. Some people will never recover again, right? And then we have a man that, instead of, I would say, even put him in a vein of getting help, they're saying, well, you're going to rot in prison, right? And he's a talented man. We cannot take that away from him. But at the same thing is that we lost somebody great who did terrible things. He deserves to be in jail, but at the same time, he also needs help. And I'll land there.
So wait, hold on before you land. Don't land. Stay in the air with me for a moment. Do you
Okay.
feel if do you feel as if R. Kelly was all right? I'm gonna give you 2 instances at one time. You address them appropriately
Okay.
as you see such.
Okay.
If the victims were white and it was R. Kelly, where he received less time. If R.
Ooh.
Kelly was white and the victims were black, where he had received less time.
Well, we know we cannot escape the fact that racism is always in every situation, right? And people always want to say, "Well, it's not a color thing." The hell it is if it's not a color thing. We had like what's his name, Jeffrey Epstein, that
Yep.
sit around and molested and raped all of these kids, and his ass got off. And a lot of the politicians that were also a part of that, they got off. And then so people said, well, he killed himself. Well, he did it. He was a cop out, or someone copped him out because they felt like, oh, he's gonna talk, and if he talks,
Right.
all of us is going down.
Right.
So at the end of the day, or whatever, it is a color situation, because if it was white, if there was white kids on that stand, they probably would gave him life. Okay, it would just, that would be the issue, because there's black people and people don't care about black people like that, so they give them 30 years for people to shut up. But that's why I always take issue with black people always making black men be the forefront of making, I guess, what for reprimands, right? Because it's like, okay, if we put out that, because we had several different people outside of R. Kelly that was also molesting and stuff kids at this around the same time, but it was
Yeah.
black people who was like, oh yeah, he needs to do this, and then so guess what, they're gonna use the example out of him, and then they're gonna, so for black people to shut up. So that's why the black men And it's very important that black men get this in their spirit. There's no one to save you. There's not even women. Black women's not going to save you. In the sense, when it comes to different things and of this such, you have to use your best judgment, because we are the black people are the culture, and we're going to push the culture. And the white people are going to say, okay, they want them to go jail. We're going to take their ass to jail. You see what I'm saying? And if it was somebody else, all they do was just throw money in their face, they would have been out. So we, as a culture, we have so much power, and we at this in this incident, he deserved jail. But I'm telling you right now that it's unfortunate. We lost somebody that would have been great had he got the help. And we have women who will never be the same due to it. And is the whole situation is unfortunate.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I concur. I concur. I concur. There's so many different avenues. What up, Kev Pryor? Please pull up. We got Shantae. Please pull up. We having a conversation about R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years. It's a good conversation. You know, it's a painful one to some extent, and to even others, you know, it's a triggering one, right? Please ask that everybody hit that link that's pinned up to the top of Clubhouse and hit that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel, please, and thank you. We're having a conversation and we're talking about R. Kelly. Ari, you're off mic. Tap in with me.
I'm wondering why they gave him a racketeering charge. That is the one that really sunk him, and I don't really
So
get where that came from.
so let me help you right there, right? I think if I'm understanding correctly, right? I think if I'm understanding correctly, the racketeering may be to loop everybody else in there, because there's other charges that's gonna come and they need to loop other people in. So in order to do that, that's where the racketeering come from. Hold on one
Also,
second.
other people are going to jail behind this?
I think other people may be charged. Hold on one
I
second.
hope so.
We just hit 300 subscribers on YouTube. Shout out, and thank you, everybody.
That's not what racketeering means, though.
Shout out to everybody that got us to 300 subscribers on YouTube. We just need 10 more likes and we're going to be 30 for 300. Appreciate you guys. We're having a conversation about R. Kelly being sentenced to 30 years in prison. We're talking about racketeering. That's what Ari just came in and said, where does the racketeering charge come at? And then I believe maybe Tish gave insight. Could you give us more on what racketeering means? Where that charge may be coming from?
See, I think the racketeering, and somebody some always prove me wrong on this, and because I don't have the absolute on this, but I believe the way the racketeering works is across so many states. It becomes federal, and then also if you were moving more so like what they say, like gangs and stuff like that, money and different things were involved in as the racketeering things come in place, and what that does is no jurisdiction. So it means the the whole federal things. I mean, the whole federal bureaus gonna come at you. It ain't a state charge, so
Got it.
state can come to you individually, but it's a federal charge, and so that means they can do so many different ways. And just like you said, there's a lot of people going to get also prosecuted in this, and they can all do it with the racketeering charge.
Oh, all right. So that was more information on time. Okay, cool. Thank you for that. We appreciate that, Tish.
So let me just jump in real quick and
And
mention that,
we're gonna go to Kev Pryor after. Go for it, Allison.
yes. So from what I understand, the racketeering, it has to do a lot with the kidnapping, and that has to do with the fact that he was holding these young ladies against their will. So that's, he was attempting to commit, conspiring to commit, and so forth and so on. So because he was holding these young ladies against his will, that goes under the vein of kidnapping, and that's where the racketeering comes in. Just want to say that.
You see, and this is why I like doing the pod with you guys, because y'all allow us to stand on your shoulders and get a point of view that probably we missed, right? You guys are able to get it in real time. So thank you for that, Allison, Tish. Thank you for that. And I want to hear the value that Kev Pryor and Shantae has to add. And everybody else, thank you guys for tapping in. Kev Pryor, tap in with me, beloved. How do you feel about R. Kelly in this whole sentencing in situation?
Well, what's good, Broadway? It's always a pleasure to chime in after a long day. The R. Kelly thing, man. It's when you look at it from a 300 floor view, there's no winners in this. Young girls and families destroyed. You know,
Yeah.
this guy here. Whether
Yeah.
people say
Damn.
he deserved it, what have you, whatever. Something is wrong there. There was something wrong, and unfortunately, he didn't get the help he needed. So 30 years with a what federal, like at least 85% you got to serve. So what, 26 years? At 55 years old, that's a life sentence almost. I mean, when come out at what, 80 years old and start saying I believe I can fly. No, it's pretty much almost a life sentence. Again, the situation is just kind of horrible, and it just kind of goes to show that at the end of the day, when you're on top and you're able to financially support people, when R. Kelly was making 12 play and best of both worlds. He was doing the stuff. He was
Right.
peeing on people. We forget about
Right.
all the stuff he did before, and he got off. And everybody kind of laughed at it and made jokes about it. Oh, Robert, that's my Robert peeing on people. And
Right.
all of a sudden, here comes the documentary. You're not as financially, able to make money for people. You're not as, somebody who's a earner. So at this point, you're an easy mark. And that's kind of like how we look at society. Unfortunately, he's not the first and he won't be the
The
last. There's a
last.
lot of these celebrities. I mean, we go back to Jerry Lee Lewis, we go back to Elvis, we go back to a lot of people who have dealt in this activity. But when you're making money for the establishment, I mean, remember, R. Kelly was living in one of Trump's hotels rent free when he was at his heyday. But once you stop making that money and you're not valuable anymore, then you become a mark. And not to kind of justify what he's done, it's despicable and he deserves jail.
Yeah.
But the reality is that this is nothing new. It only became something when you're not the earner that you once was.
That you once were. Hey, I feel that, right? And this is why everybody tapping in and giving their own and adding their own 2 cents is very important, because y'all wake up something individually, right? What I want to say to that is shout out to Jay Smith, shout out to Tanasha, uh, Tanash, don't get me wrong, Miss Fields. Shout out to Miss Fields for being with us on YouTube. Tap in with us. We need six more likes, guys. So please hit that subscribe button and hit that like button and tap in with us. So when the well dries up, right? This is what Kev Pryor is waking up. When that well dries up, you're no longer an asset to us. You become a liability, because now I'm not able to receive anything by way of the information I'm keeping from people, right? People start getting used and become abused by way of that, right? And I think that is nasty. I think that is nasty. So thank you for adding that value, Kev Pryor. We appreciate it for tapping in with us. We got Shantae up here, but before I greet Shantae, I just want to tap in with Jay Smith comment. Miss Field said, "Wow, she's speechless." Jay Smith said, "Racketeering is the act of acquiring a business through illegal activities, operating a business with illegally derived income, or using a business to commit illegal acts." So wake that up. Hello? Thank you for that. Jay Smith also said, and like the young lady said, it's a federal charge. It's a federal charge. Tracy said, money is the root of all evil. Yes. Yes, it is. Tap in and greetings and salutations to you, Queen Shantae. How you feeling, Queen? Do you have any value to add from either side to the coin, right? Or in defense of R. Kelly or opposing R. Kelly? Because there's been some that stood in alignment with R. Kelly, but they took it from a different perspective. It's all welcome.
I mean, I think first of all, good evening, everybody. Hey, Broadway.
Hey.
I think um I think Kevin made a lot of valid points that I can't even come up too much behind. I agree 1,000% with what he said. But touching on upon the last bit of part of what he was saying about when you're no longer an earner, I think the real casualty at war is we always go after, like Kevin was alluding to, like the highest earner, or the the celebrity, but what about all the helping hands and people involved, the people in the music industry that saw what was going on, but because, he was like that big earner at that
Yeah.
time,
Yeah.
unstoppable with them hits, wasn't doing anything. What about the terrible judgment of what it says about our society and parental guidance and mind frame in terms of wanting fame so bad that a mother and father
Mm.
would sit there on there was the R. Kelly documentaries where they said, I let my daughter go. You're gonna let your daughter go unattended as a parent, a protector as a father to be in some other grown man's just so that she can have a chance at fame and singing. So
And
that
and
it's just a lot when I really break it down, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
But as far as R. Kelly, he has to sit in what he did. So I don't feel no sympathy there, but I'm just saying it's just a lot more dirty hands involved in the cookie
Then
jar that
right.
didn't get, you know
Wake
what I'm
that up.
saying?
Right, exactly. And figuratively taking these kids and letting them sit on other men's laps. Figuratively. You get what I'm saying? Letting other
Right.
yeah, it's a nasty cold world. It's a nasty cold world. I get it from all angles, pause. I get it from different viewpoints because the fact of the matter is that us as being parents, it's our job to protect our children, right? It's our job. I don't care about what may be an opportunity or not. It can be an opportunity, but you should be then heavily guarded with your children, right? But to give some of the parents a little bit of bail, some parents probably didn't know. Some parents probably didn't know. And I think it's easier said, and I understand the position that I occupy in this, right? In the platform that I occupy, right? It's very easy to say something from sitting over here, but being in it, it might be something different. Just in the regards of you want what's best for your man, for your home girl, and they might be into some unsavory things because let's just wake it up if we gonna wake it up, okay? How many of your girlfriends and homeboys right now probably cheating on a significant other? Hello? Do you say anything? Hello? Are you intervening? Hello? Are you waking that up? Hello? They hurting somebody? Hello? And what I'm saying is it's very easy to say something sitting on one side of the coin, but when you get to the other side of the coin, it can be a little different. If you guys want to be brought up on YouTube, the Giants in the comment section, if you guys want to be brought up and become and sit in this square with me on Clubhouse, feel free to tap in and hit my Instagram, IM_Broadway. I'll bring you guys up so you can verbalize how you feel and you don't got to be typing all the time. Just hit that button and I'll bring you guys up. IM_Broadway on Instagram. IAM_Broadway on Instagram. I'll bring you guys up. We 5 likes away. We're about to jump into our final thoughts. So hopefully we can wrap up and get these 5 final likes so we could be 300 or 301 at this point for 300 for 30 on 30 likes, 300 subscribers. New YouTube channel, we building it out. Appreciate everybody tapping in with us. Final thoughts in the comment section. Give us your final thoughts. Clubhouse, I'm coming to you guys for final thoughts. How you guys feel? Allison, I'm gonna start with you, Queen, and then I'm gonna hold up, let me PTR. I'm gonna start with Allison. I'm gonna work my way down. Allison, how you feel? Final thoughts. YouTubers and Facebook, please put it in the comment section and share this link to YouTube on your Facebook if possible. Share it out, share the love. Tap in with us. Live on Broadway Podcast.
So, for my final thoughts, it's a sad situation all around. This has been going on for years. I'm 40 something years old, 46 now, yay! But
Hey.
I've been hearing about this ever since I was probably like 16 years old. So the better part of 30 years, for real, for real.
Yeah.
I
Sad.
did see the tape. Yes, I did see the tape, and um, you know, if we doubted it at all, we need to go to the lyrics of the song. People tell on themselves if we just sit and listen. So it seems like you're ready. Your body's calling me. Age ain't nothing but a number. Yes, he wrote that for Aaliyah. Aaliyah sang it, but he was the one that wrote it. He penned that. So he is responsible, and those were his thoughts that he was writing for her. So all I'm saying is it's a sad situation all around. Everybody's accountable. And guess what? It's not over. We're going to hear so much more. Your favorite rapper is also a pedophile, and that's that.
Whoa, 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 whoa. What just, whoa, 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 what just,
Yeah, our favorite rapper's a pedophile, but they're actually making enough money to stay out of jail. Unfortunately, R. Kelly didn't have enough money to stay out of jail and pay people off anymore. That's the reality.
that sound crazy.
Let's wake that up. But
That,
okay.
that sounds crazy. But I'm gonna let you guys final thoughts. Final thoughts. Tap in with us. Latoya, final thoughts. I'm coming down to you guys. Tap in with us, please.
I just think that is a sad situation, as Ali said. Is I pray for his soul because like it's not over. He still got them other charges to look forward to, and Chicago and stuff. So, yeah, it's just sad. He was such a talented man, and it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Thotty, what you got, King? I mean, yeah, Thotty, what you got? Final thoughts, beloved. R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years. D Mackey, what you got, Queen?
Yeah, it is unfortunate that we even had the chance to enjoy all these gifts. Like I feel like he should have been stopped way back when he first started, and then we wouldn't feel so guilty for losing someone that was so influential, that made so much good music. He really didn't deserve that opportunity, and he only really got away with it because of the success that he was gaining at the time. But we wouldn't be taking any losses if somebody would have held him accountable when they should have, when they first received allegations. And then too on the cheating and not telling on your friends and stuff. I mean, I get it, whatever. But when you're talking about two consenting adults that probably are in relationships of their own, they're not happy. That's their choice if that's what they want to do. It's not our business to go blow the whistle and expose anybody. But when you're mistreating kids and you're taking advantage of immature mindsets and you're promising people a career and then it ends up being something else, that doesn't even have no weight compared to telling on your friend that's being that's cheating on their partner. They're
Sure.
grown, they're consenting, but kids or a teenager that is easily impressionable, it's just not right. And right is right and wrong is wrong. And not saying cheating is right, but still, like I said, they at least have a choice. But when you get tricked into it, that's not cool. Like that's not cool. And somebody really should have blew the whistle and not minded their own business. Like they really should have made a big deal about it.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And yeah, I think you understood why I chose that analogy, but I understand what you're saying, Queen. Thank you for that insight and that final thought. I think Ola, how you feel about it, Queen? Tap in with us. Final thoughts, final thoughts. I want to get it from you guys in the comment section as well. I'm coming to read those momentarily. Tap in with us. Tish, final thoughts, Queen. How you feel about it?
My my final thoughts are, even though this is a victory, and some people would say this is a victory, and they may have other things to say. Just consider other people when you take joys of someone else's demise or
Mm,
any type of misfortune. Just consider yourself in that, and I'll end there.
wow. Just consider yourself. Yeah. Kev Pryor, what you got, King?
I keep it real brief, Broadway. In this situation, in any situation, good, bad, or ugly, I always try to find a teachable moment or something that we can learn. And this conversation is a teachable moment. The reality is this, especially within our community, we have to stop looking at our celebrities and stars as prophets and gods. What happened is that these parents brought these kids to this man. Not to say this man can go out and do his own thing, but they were kind of like sacrificial lambs. And they did that because they felt that there was some type of pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. And again, the reality is, what is a pot of gold if you sell your soul? You know, these kids will never be the same again. This man's in prison, what have you. A man that brought a lot of joy to it with music and sound. But the reality is that we have to stop worshiping, you know, our celebrities. And I said this on my show the other day,
What's
is
the name
that
of your
the
show,
reason
King?
950 Lounge, Broadway. I appreciate that. Every Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m. throughout the U.S. and Canada. But the reality is that we have to stop looking at our celebrities as gods and as these people on pedestals. The Kanye Wests, the Bill Cosbys. It's a lot of things in our society, but it starts with looking at ourselves as individuals that are real and are profitable and can grow and be successful. And if we look at that, we're not looking for an R. Kelly or whoever of the celebrity to
Talk
take our
about it.
kids and ourselves to make us better. And I'll leave it there.
I just like to let things rest sometimes. Y'all know that silence is golden. We need to
I
stop
appreciate
looking.
that, Kevin.
We need to stop looking at our celebrities and idolizing them. They're human just like we are. They just got a camera and they live in the public. They sit in front of a camera for a living and they live in the public. Wow. Wow. Ari, tap in with us. I'm gonna go to Ari because I missed her. I see she came back in. Final thoughts, Ari. Final thoughts on this R. Kelly situation. Please tap in with me, Queen.
Actually boarding a plane right now, but I'm here.
All right, cool. I know you being flown out and all that. Okay.
No, I'm going to New Orleans for Essence. My birthday is at 12 a.m., so make sure y'all all
Oh
here.
man,
I'll be
oh
back.
man. Happy birthday, Queen, in advance.
All right, I'm coming back.
All right, cool. Shantae, tap in with us, Queen. Final thoughts on this whole matter.
Final thoughts is it's a sad situation all around.
Yeah.
My sincerest condolences to the victims and and young ladies who, they're going to have to work through a lot to get, past that, I think it's also just sad because it wakes up two things that come to mind, and I'm gonna try to keep it brief. But R. Kelly himself was molested, early on. And a lot of times, as we as a community, we don't talk about these things, especially with boys being molested and touched. We don't encourage kids to, feel safe to say that. Or a lot of times we try to sweep things under the rug, so to speak. Like, oh, this person can get over it, or oh, this is, and it's like, no, if
No.
people need help and
Yeah.
people need to speak to someone, or they may have a chemical imbalance or mental issues, or, been unfortunately the victim of sexual molestation as a child themselves, we have to be a community that really encourages that healing and for us to get the help that we need. So that's number one that comes to my mind. And two, just because it's just hitting so home, because I have had to deal with, I work in education, as you know, and I had to deal with something over the course of the weekend that was kind of similar to this situation with a young girl involved,
Sorry to hear that.
and being touched. Well, from an education standpoint, and we had to get, authorities and things of that involved. Parents, watch your kids. Community, watch these children. If you see something, say something.
Yeah.
We have to start caring and going back to that, what are you doing over there? Know where your children are hanging out. Keep and stay involved with your kids, because I'm seeing, just from the side that I work on with kids, a lot of parents are really just out of tune. They don't, and talk to your kids. Talk to them about life experiences, the things you've been through, the imperfection of yourself,
Yeah.
because those are the greatest things that's going to create that dialogue that they can be able to talk to you about things such as being touched inappropriately. So I would really, ad- advocate that. Let's look after our children. And going back to what Kevin said, let's not be so money hungry about things that we just sell our children down the well and stuff. They are our future and we need them. And so we have to make sure that we provide a safe, caring, loving, communal environment where kids are know that they're going to be safe and be protected by any means necessary. So, because it's just not acceptable. And that we all have to look at, like I said, there is no one right fits all. I feel like there are multiple people that besides the front man, R. Kelly, being held accountable, that also are going to have to live with themselves. And they may not be in jail, but they will have to answer to the creator for what the part that they played in this as well. And I park.
Let's let that breathe for a moment. Let's let that breathe for one moment. So here's the thing, right? I'm gonna read these comments real quick. Just bear with me for 1 second. So Tracy said, I agree. People are evil. People are already evil. She also says that people who she's saying, but what she's saying is true. He was once our favorite R&B artist, and we honored this man. Listen. Here's the thing, right? Going back to final thoughts, right? I believe that to some degree or another, what you guys are waking up is very, very, very important, right? I think everybody is making valid points and value arguments, and everybody is, I couldn't concur more. You know, I think that R. Kelly is just an image and reflection of our culture, unfortunately. We live and have a very sick culture, and the reason why I say that and put it and place it that way is because, unfortunately, we believe that whatever happens in our house stays in our house. And no, it don't work that way all the time. In our house, as we begin and grow old into certain age and spaces, we start our house becomes our social circles. We start to be okay with things that aren't honorable, but just by way of it being friends and family, right? It's not honorable though. It's not, we gotta start, everybody said it before I did. We gotta call a spade and hold our people, our friends, our loved ones accountable to the bullshit, okay? Because it's bigger than our house. It's bigger than the things that we are going through and experiencing, right? On a personal level. I don't ever want to occupy any friendship where any relationship, any with family, right? Any type of relationship where I get to be okay with your BS. Okay? Because if it's not, I know it's R. Kelly, right? But what I'm doing in an attempt to broaden it a bit is make it compatible to things that we made, because the R. Kelly, the extremity of R. Kelly, it might not hit home with everybody, because how many molesters do you personally know? It might hit a little, it might hit a little different. So I'm trying to make it real. And the people in our lives, sometimes we bypass things and we're cool with certain things because they're the people in our life. Right? We don't, sometimes when our family, our loved ones, so forth and so on are doing things, we don't hold them accountable. We don't pull them up on charges and be like, hey, homeboy, that ain't it. That's not real right. You moving kind of with like some type of toxic masculinity. I remember one time I saw my boy get into a situation with a lady and it got nasty. It got nasty. And I had to bring him up and say, hey, homeboy, that ain't cool. You hear me? Shit, I've been victim of getting into some nasty situations. And I had to check myself and have the people around me check me like, homeboy, that ain't it. So we got to have accountability. We got to have people in our lives that holds us accountable so that it don't grow into the situation that, well, maybe not exactly what R. Kelly is, but it doesn't grow into that. Because if somebody would have caught him early on and held them accountable for that shit, it probably wouldn't have grew to the element, to the level of which it did. Y'all picking up what I'm putting down, right? I'm not going to be...
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
I'm not going to be too long-winded. I will say, inside of these final thoughts, I will like to say we are growing our channel. We are tracking and adjusting and growing this new YouTube channel. So I appreciate everybody that taps in. We are at 303 subscribers today. Wake that up. It's only been in less than a month. We got 32 likes. Appreciate the love, Giants, on YouTube, on Clubhouse, Instagram, and Facebook. Please help us spread the word by sharing the page on your Facebook channels, okay? Tell a friend, subscribe, like, comment to the YouTube page, Broadway the Giant. As we continue to grow live on Broadway podcast and bring this amazing content. 300 subscribers in less than a month. Not the best, but it's definitely not the worst. And we celebrate all victories on this side. So thank you guys for all the love you've been showing us. We're going to continue to grow the page. Appreciate everybody tapping in with us. We'll be back at 7 p.m. and we talking about some stuff. Okay? You're going to definitely want to be here because it's not going to be about R. Kelly, but it's definitely going to be about something that we all can relate to. Or if you don't, you can add value to perhaps wake it up and show us why you disagree. Respectfully, y'all know my vibe. Like, comment, and subscribe. It's always cheaper to be yourself. Live on Broadway podcast. Appreciate you guys in advance.